Hello, beautiful humans. Huge welcome to all of you. This is a Q&A in continuation of the masterclass that we've just finished yesterday, Leading from Within. So it has been an amazing masterclass. I am so full, my heart is so full from all the connection we've created, all the amazing moments we've shared. I love the community that has come together for this masterclass. I love how you showed up during the calls. I love how you are expressing yourself and interacting on in our group, in our little community, or a big community. Actually, we've had quite a large meeting of amazing people who speak the same language, who are on a similar path. These are the people who, you guys are extraordinary people, the people who are even in connection, who can even connect to such topics, who can even connect to this movement that I am standing for, serving love. So I absolutely loved what we have explored together during the masterclass, and now we are here in extension of that masterclass, going deeper into what it means to lead from a capital L. What does leadership of the new paradigm really look like? So please say hi as you jump in. If you haven't been a part of the masterclass, you can still go back to it and watch the replays. The replays are available until the 18th. So if you were there, massive welcome to you. It will be an extension of our container. If you are just popping by and you like the vibes and you want to stick around, super welcome. So yeah, how are you today? How have you been integrating all the things that have moved? I've read some amazing posts about the breakthroughs and insights, but maybe you have more to share. Great, inspiring and transformative masterclass. Yes. I also absolutely loved all the shares, all the tags. So I see someone wrote that you missed the masterclass when you watch the replay. You can just still, if you can find it in the link in my bio. You go on the link in my bio, there you will see Leading from Within. You click on it and you will register, and then you join the Facebook group and see all the replays there. Okay, so I have received some questions already, and I am Eva, writing the love waves. Awesome. So I have received, hey Karen, darling. I have received a few questions, not so many, but a few I have. Thanks for liking my hat. It's a gift from my beloved for Christmas. And so I will read the few questions. I'll start with those that I have, and then as we go, just pop your questions here and bring those questions from your heart. Bring like something like really that's really vulnerable, that's really important for you on your path right now. Anything in relation to your leadership, anything in relation to stepping into the fullness of your gift and to who you are and to what you're here to give. So let's go deep, shall we? So I received the questions here. How do you know, from Maria, how do you know for sure that you are in your true Dharma and it doesn't come from insecurity? Example, if you feel like no one listened to you when you were little, maybe you feel you want to become a leader to be finally listened. I hope that makes sense. Thank you. So we have a misunderstanding here. This is a very important thing. I'm really glad you asked, Maria, because I'm sure it may have come up for others. And Dharma is a very powerful word. It has a very powerful meaning. And I touched on how the concepts get translated and not fully integrated and not fully understood, and then people are trying to teach them, and then we have just all these words flying around, and sometimes the concepts become even dangerous because we don't fully understand what they mean, and then they confuse us, and nothing good, basically. So in your question, I can see that you did not understand what Dharma means, and I will clarify it right now, so make yourself available, listen, and then I will also respond to the second part that pops up for me in this question. So Dharma is something that is so uniquely you that you cannot not be in your Dharma. Yeah. You can be in less of an intimate connection with it, but your Dharma is everything. It's a river that carries you through your life. And then you will see that sometimes you are really like plugged into it and surrendered, and you are carried. And it doesn't mean that it's all butterflies and rainbows. Yeah? There will still be learnings, there will still be karma, and karma is more like an energy that you need to go in and through and purify inside. Yeah, so karma is also part of Dharma, in fact. Yeah, and then you will sometimes feel rested in it, and everything, all the things you do, it's not only about your vocation, it's not only about your expression as a leader, it's not only about your work, your business, your creativity, it's all of your life. It's this unique thread of you. It cannot be not you, it's always you. But sometimes you are in connection with it and leaned into it, and other times not so much. So I hope that makes sense. And then, so I will interpret your question so differently than from here. I think what you are really asking is that, like, when you choose to, like, when you decide what to do in life, how to know if you decide from purity or if you decide from wounds. Yeah. So I think that's what you're asking. I think you're not here. Are you here, Maria? So I'm sure that many people will relate to that also. Yeah. How to know what place are we really taking our decisions from? Is it because, like you say, I was not listened to as a child and now I want to boss around to prove my worth? Or is it from purity? So on day one of the masterclass, I went into that. Yeah, it's about belonging. It's about settling into your belonging. And the belonging is not something that is dependent on the external circumstances. Yeah, we went very deep into that on day one of the masterclass. So once you are established in the true belonging that is not dependent on what's around you, then you don't need to prove anymore. And you will know the taste of it because you will get an instant feedback from your soul. When you are on the true path of your soul, you get instant feedback. You get an instant sense of, yes, that's right. That's what feels good. That's my place. That's like, I love what I'm doing. My heart is happy in it. And when you are doing something in order to compensate for the wounds that you have, that will feel not clean on the inside. It will not feel pure on the inside. It will feel icky on the inside. And you are the person who will know it. You may also have a community of people around you who may see it before you see it. Yeah, when we don't see our shadows, and typically we will get reflection of those shadows from outside. But eventually you will train yourself to know exactly, am I lying to myself or am I really moving from love? It will feel right. So yeah, exactly. True belonging is not dependent on what is available around you. Absolutely. Belle, you said something about don't work into the broad variety but go deep. But there are also so many different interests and talents come together. It's so hard to specify into it. Can you give an advice? I understand exactly what you mean. Like exactly, because it depends on the personality. Yeah. And I will still explain how you can go deep, even if you have a personality like mine, actually, which is extremely, like, I have a very high wind element in my system, which makes me very excitable and very, like, diverse in my interests. And I love to have a lot of things to do. Like, you know, I love to have many tabs open on my laptop. Like, I love to have variety. I love to have diversity. I cannot just stay with one project and just do one thing forever. Like, typically in a day, my day is very varied. I cannot do just one thing, sit, you know. Even when I had a project, for example, writing a book, I could not just sit and write a book all day. I would have to go out. I would speak into my phone and record myself as I would write. I would drive some inspiring place and journal a little bit there, write by hand, like go to different places, do different activities, go to dance, listen to some music, meet my friends, like do different things. Like, and that's how I actually, it makes me move. And that's how my book became powerful, because I allowed myself to do all the things that I'm naturally interested in doing. So don't betray your essence. Yeah, if that's how you are, you love to be in many different interests and have many different like things that you're just drawn to. Don't lie to yourself. Like, be that way. It's your nature. And still, you can notice like the places where you are. Like, still there will be something unified around all of that. There will be something unified. Like, for example, I know that for me, like a big gift of mine is to be in my softness, to be in my receptivity, to be in my feeling, to be in my kinesthetic relationship with the world. Yeah, to feel myself, to feel people, to feel environments. So that's, yeah, from here, like that, I know that it's really close to my core. And from here, I can do lots of different things. Yeah, from here, I create books, I create courses on leadership, I create courses on sexuality, I create courses on relationships. So seems like different things, but they are all coming from the same core of who I am. So you see, it's more about where it's coming from rather than what. Yeah, and that place where, that's the place that we can keep deepening into. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me know. Yeah, we have more those kind of windy types of personalities here. Okay, so you're not following up with anything, so then I'll move to somebody else. I realized I never, welcome, Bill. I realized I never followed my true heart, my true, okay, I'm happy it's helpful, my true farms, because of parents, relatives, environment, my true talents, perhaps. Not that now that I'm alone, I understand very well what you mean, or a bit of it. Yeah. It can be like when we are so sensitive, then we can get very easily informed by environment and not even be able to recognize what is your voice, what is the voice of somebody else. There's just like a mess, a lot of confusion in the head. So one of the first steps I do with leaders always is to empty yourself, to really empty yourself from all the voices that we've picked up along the way. That's such a crucial step, should never be missed. Okay, next question I have here from Sarah. I'm currently experiencing a lot of outer resistance, which I believe is a projection of my own sense of unworthiness and fear of failing. What practical tools can I use to attune to my intrinsic love, like this embodiment practice? So perhaps the embodiment practice we did on day 2. So that I let go of this pain, that not only mental but emotional and somatic, and take myself out of this freeze state that I currently find myself in. What strategies did you Sofia used to overcome frustration and unlock the flow of your Dharma, to keep going and not give in to disconnection with your Dharma, which is what I have been doing until now. Thank you immensely for your generous sharing and wisdom. Okay, Sarah, what I feel here is that you are a lot in your mind. Like a lot. Your question is like shows me that you are thinking and you are overthinking. And when you're overthinking, you are hurting yourself and you're bringing yourself into the freeze, because your thinking comes from here. It means your energy is here. Your energy is not in the body. So, and you were so touched by embodiment practice, as I understand, it means that here is the cue for you. Here is an indication that you are invited into your body. Your soul wants to come into your body. Enough of being in the mind, come into the body and empty that. Listen to this. So that's how, exactly, yeah. And this frustration is also a true sign that there is disconnection. So come into the body, get to move your body, commit to daily moving your body, moving specifically in a feminine way, which is non-linear way, which is ways when you move in spontaneous, unpredictable ways and you trust. You move and you trust. You move from inside. You move and you trust. You don't move yourself with your head. Most people dance like that. Most people move like that. Oh yeah, I saw a cool move, let me do it. Yeah. Ah yeah, it's like this. Yeah, it's all like mind guides, the body responds to the guidance of the mind. Switch that. Switch that so that the body starts to be first. The body starts to move first. And you will see that so much will unlock from that space. Dear Sophia, you have been speaking during day 1 about belonging. The question is how to stop searching for others' approval and appreciation and truly become self-confident and trust your inner self. So it's a thing that there are several parts to it. One is that accept that this, what you're asking me, is a lifelong journey. Lifelong journey. So it's not meant to happen like this, instantly. It's going to be something that you will keep growing into for the rest of your life, if you choose to keep choosing growth. So that's the first thing to understand and to accept that, okay, I will just understand that it's a lifelong journey and I will just do one step at a time. I will do one thing at a time that supports me in that. So, first of all, here, what I hear in your question, it's also about, and someone asked me also, I saw it before, how to switch off those noises in the head, how to be free from those voices in the head that seem to be like bombarding you, and you're like, oh my god, it's the voice of my spirit, what is this voice, da 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 da, and usually it's your mama speaking, it's your papa, it's your grandmother, it's your somebody like your teachers, like also, or people that you're really really obsessed with, and you're like so looking at them, what they are doing, how they are doing it, and then you're comparing yourself to them. Yeah, so it's like all the different voices in your mind, which are ultimately your inner voices. Yeah, but they have been informed by certain experiences of your life. And that's the first thing, to disidentify from those voices. Learn to navigate your mind so that your mind becomes your servant, not that you become a slave to your mind. Because mind is just one part of you, which can be brilliant and genius, and we can train our minds to be extraordinary, as long as we treat it as a servant, not when the mind is the one who is like pushing you, what you need to do today, how you need to be today, what is expected from you, what are you expecting from yourself. But when the heart starts to be the queen or the king, then the mind can serve it. So that's what I will say. First thing, to discover your voice. How do you sound? How does your heart sound? What is really profoundly precious to you? What are your values? What are you really standing for? So that's how you start to know yourself on a personal level. Then there are more levels. There's a level of the soul, there is a level of the spirit, there is a level that we cannot even name. And I find that nothing actually gives you as much belonging and as much sense of truth as when you really profoundly discover yourself on all those levels. And not only staying limited on personality, which is where like all the personal development is around it, around personality, which is an important piece, but it's not all. It's just one little tip of the iceberg. Your essence is infinite, your essence is limitless, your essence is cannot be put into words. And getting a taste of that essence, being kissed by grace, what I sometimes call, this is where your true belonging is. This is where you discover your deepest heart. And from there, there's no more need for proof from external conditions to prove that you're worthy, to explain you who you are. So that's a journey. Yeah, that's a journey. Don't expect it to happen immediately. But first step, empty yourself from those voices. Learn to identify them. How to recognize the difference of real opportunities life has for you and the dreams of others you want to fulfill. Well, it's the same thing as I was just talking about. Learn to identify those voices. Practically, very practical tool, journal. When your mind goes on and on, start writing it down. Just write it down, and you can write like for 10 minutes. Don't think about what you're writing, just write. Just empty your mind on the paper. And do that every day. And you will see that after that, it's like it works like a shower for your mind. And then eventually, so that's one practice for emptying the mind. And then eventually, you can also start to write in a way that you start to identify, like you see, like you write down something, you're like, oh my God, I'm really like, I have this thought, I cannot let it go. Like it's like so intense that it's just grasping on me. And then you write down this thought. And then you see, like, okay, where is this thought coming from? And then you can see, well, actually, this thought is like something I really heard a lot from my mother. Like, for example, the thought, I'm not worthy. Yeah, I don't deserve to be successful. I don't deserve to have what I want to have. I don't deserve a relationship. I don't deserve success in my work and so on. Yeah, we can write it out. And then you see it's a belief. Yeah, there is a belief. And then you can hold this belief and understand, okay, it's a belief. Is it serving me? No, it's not. So what would be a better feeling belief instead of this one? A better feeling would be that I am growing. Yeah? Instead of feeling like I'm not good enough to have what I want to have, I am growing into being the person who can have what I want to have. Yeah? After that, it's a belief that I am attracting that what I want to have. And then I have already attracted that which I've always wanted. A year ago, I would be so proud. Like, if I knew what would happen, who I would be today, a year ago, I would be mind blown. Like, I would be so excited. I wouldn't believe it. And then see, like, okay, I'm already the person I've always wanted to be. Okay, good. What's next? Okay, I have one more question that came a bit earlier. I'll answer to that from Andrea. It touched me. Your question really touched me because she is asking about her how to deal while her partner is doing in service to love. So my training that is starting soon in service to love. So she says how to serve myself and my partner who is joining the first module of in service to love. Equals love best while he is in this huge transition and container with you. In the past, the physical sensations were excruciatingly hard for me in regards to sense of not belonging. I would super appreciate to hear from you on that. Good to meet you and much celebrating to have Yatran embarking with you. Okay, so I'm really touched by this comment, this question. First of all, really, I really honor you for acknowledging that, for voicing that, because what happens in most cases is that these kind of feelings are there, but we may be too scared to name them. And it may feel like, wow, if I show that, it may show that I am insecure, I'm jealous, I don't know, miserable somehow. But you saying this and also addressing it openly with me, I really honor that. It's so beautiful. So really, this means that you have awareness of that. It means that it's already 50% of success. It means that you're 50% over that. So it's out of the shadows. So huge. Congratulations on being in this place where you are. And then specifically how to address this, know that him doing this profound inner work that we're going to be doing during the course is going to make him a better man. It's going to make him a better human being. It's going to make him closer to his essence, and that's why he will be better. And he will benefit from that, and it will make him more empowered, and you will also benefit from that, because your partner will be a more empowered man, a man closer, living in closeness to his Dharma, living in closeness to his purpose. This is, if there are many, some of the most attractive qualities in other human beings is when we see them living in true connection with why they incarnated here. It's extremely attractive. People who really are onto something that burns in their hearts. What is more sexy than that, right? So it will make him, of course, there may be a sense of insecurity that you might feel like, okay, well, he's doing such great work, and what about me? Like, is he getting better than me? Notice those thoughts. This is competitiveness, where you are meeting him from your own masculine energy, and you are competing, like who is better, who is worse, am I now behind, now he is in front. Notice when this comes up, and then switch to feminine energy, switch to nourishing yourself, switch to feeling yourself, feeling your emotions, being in your vulnerability. So that will immediately help. And then even if feelings come up, notice the feelings. Don't go into bypassing the feelings, because what a woman can do is go like, okay, for example, he was on the call, he is like in the work, he did his homework, he is like really on it, and he has his ideas, and he is creating something, and there may be a passive-aggressive response from a partner, and it may go in sneaky ways, but there may be a sense of like finding something to pick on, becoming naggy, becoming needy, becoming somehow like taking attention. So notice if this comes up, and instead of going into this kind of manipulative strategies, which are very typical for women, especially for women, notice the emotions. Notice if there is a sense of insecurity, if there is a sense of vulnerability, if there is a sense of fear, and express those feelings like you did in this comment, and speak to him and share with him, not in like, okay, how can I fix it? How can I fix you? You need to stop doing this, you need to be more with me. Don't look for solutions. Express the vulnerability of the heart, and that will serve you both tremendously. How do you overcome deep lack of self-esteem, self-worth? I thought that by getting a degree in psychology and a certificate as a 5 wisdoms teacher, I would then feel less of an imposter, but it did not. It didn't happen. I actually fear I have no gifts to share, no wisdom to share. I struggle to belong. Of course, it wouldn't help. Of course, those things would not help you, because you were made for something so much bigger. You were made for something so much bigger than some kind of certificates proving you your worth. You were made for a paradigm that is so much bigger, because all of those, like, getting a good mark, and that means you're a good person. From childhood, that's how we were brought up. Yeah, you're getting a good mark, you studied well, here is your validation. You did this well, you cleaned your room, good, now you can go for a walk. Like, we grew up in this paradigm of validation based on accomplishment. And that's one way, it's one paradigm. But if it is not coexistent with another paradigm, which tells you from the very beginning that you are worthy from the very beginning, from the very, as the very fact of your incarnation makes you worthy. And it has always been like that, and it will forever be like that. You are, and that's why you are worthy. We are not taught those things, and that creates a lot of problems and a lot of insecurities and a lot of search for validation from external conditions, from external world. So our parents didn't give it to us because they never got it themselves. And it's not to blame anybody, but it is for us a lesson for us to learn. It is something for us to take full responsibility for and train ourselves that I am worthy from the beginning. There's nothing that can take away my worth. There's also no possession, no achievement can give me more worth either. No accomplishment defines me. I am worthy from the very beginning. So anchoring in that, doing it, practicing it as a meditation, now somehow I want to say this, that like starting your day with that kind of feeling, with certain activities that make you feel that way, that anchor you in that knowing. The movement of the body in a spontaneous, non-linear way, non-pushy way, this is where it anchors you. I talked about it to Sarah, where it's like, come into the now, come into the feeling, come into the being, and this is where you discover your worth, that you don't need to be any certain way, you need to do anything specific to be worthy. Just do something that nourishes you from the depth of the depth, and that will be your reminder again and again that you have always been worthy, and you're beautiful, and you're magnificent, and you came here for something extraordinary. And that those extraordinary things will come from a place of being, not from the place of trying to accomplish. And this thing of I fear that I have no gifts to share. This is nonsense, my friend. You are a gift. How can you have no gifts to share? You are the gift. Are long pauses on your path of Dharma natural? Somehow my energy at this moment is not moving towards outward action. My mind plays by saying, hey, you're not showing up. No, this showing up is also overrated, because we think showing up means to be there on top of the mountain and tell the people what to do and move the masses and be the light and do something specific. No, because with this attitude we see a lot of overdoing happening on the planet. Long pauses are essential. It also may tie in together with your individuality, with how you're built. It's interesting to look into human design, for example. It's a certain system that studies human personality. So especially for projectors, for example, there's a type called projector. Very important to have those very long pauses. And in these pauses, but not only for projectors, for everybody, really there needs to happen, but for projectors especially. It's like that's how they actually lead, by taking the pauses. But for all of us, there has to be this moment where, as my beautiful teacher Shamali says, she calls it watching the trees. It's like it's a time that she schedules into her agenda where she's watching the trees, doing nothing. I have phases like this also, where it's just like, I know I am resting. I know this is my time to rest, and nothing will take me out of it. It's like there I have to put very clear, very straight boundaries, because this time is life-giving. This time is what makes you empty your mind. This time is what makes you come back to the heart, come out of the head into the body. This is the time when you are becoming available to the guidance of the divinity. This is the time when you just lay down and turn yourself upwards, being available, be asking for guidance, asking to be held. This is the void, and it's very difficult space to navigate. In Service to Love, I have a whole call, a whole class on the void itself, because it's a very can be very unsettling to be in this, what to do when you don't know what to do. Yeah. But that's not a bad sign at all. Actually, a very good one, an essential thing to do. Okay. What is, in your experience, the most powerful sentence that lets you understand that you belong? Because there is a big difference in thinking to understand belonging and really be rooted in belonging. Most powerful sentence? How do you mean sentence? Like a phrase? And of course, there's a big difference in the concept of belonging and being rooted in that. So tell me what exactly you mean. Do you mean, because I don't fully understand? Ida is asking, what are the ways of working with learning from you? There are numerous ways, depends on what are you looking for. I have just launched, and I will make a post about this also right after this live, in the maybe a couple hours after the live, about the program that is open right now, In Service to Love. So my huge invitation to that, it's going to be live. We're going to dive in very deep. It goes on in 2 parts. It's like 2 big modules, but we are together for over a month, really, and we are diving in very deep, and I'm bringing in my experience of 10 years of my path, of my spiritual path, and actually more, 10 years of my leadership, 10 years since I first became a teacher. This year, actually 22, it was in 2012, and even longer on the spiritual path. So I'm bringing everything I've learned, everything that helped me, everything that I love and I adore about leadership. So it's an amazing opportunity to work with me. This is really great. I also have in-person trainings, and the next one that's coming is Surrender Leadership, which In Service to Love is a prerequisite for that in-person training. There are also ways to work privately with me, but these are also it's a even deeper level of commitment, and what I request from you in one-on-one work is really intense. Like, it's a really full-on fire process. So I recommend to start with In Service to Love. Okay, let me see. You're so welcome, beautiful people. Yes, I will save the live. How would you describe true surrender? Okay, let's see. How do I describe true surrender? You say true, so I hope you're ready for that. Because there are different forms of it. But the true, the deepest surrender is giving yourself over. Giving yourself as you know yourself to be, giving yourself over. Giving yourself over to something so much more greater than what you can ever identify with. Giving yourself over to love, giving yourself over to God. And it's an active prayer, a prayer to be emptied, of everything you've ever known and be filled with love only, to be filled with God only. So that's true surrender. And it is so life-giving, it is so revealing, it is so infinitely fulfilling to be surrendered into the embrace of divinity. There's nothing else we ever truly want, I believe, as human beings, because we all are yearning for something, and we tend to hide our yearning with some more superficial things. But in fact, all our desires can be sourced to the longing, to the profound longing that is at the essence of the heart of every living being. You know, the sound that the whales make. Have you ever heard the sound of the whales? Or the sound of the dog missing her owner, or the sounds of like other animals or people crying and heartbreak and agony. All these sounds, they have the same source. They have the source in this longing that cannot be filled. And we try to fill it in. We try to fill it in by material possessions. We try to fill it in by experiences. We try to fill it in with things, with stuff, with experiences, with thoughts, with feelings. But in fact, it can only ever be filled by God. And we are searching for perfection. So many of us are searching for perfection. I want to feel fully healed. I want to feel fully powerful. I want to feel fully worthy. I want to feel like I deserve, that I belong, that I... But in fact, what you truly, really want is to remember yourself in the depth, that very depth. You want to remember your divine origin, which is your origin and also the destination. So in true surrender, this is what you are opening to. This is what you're making yourself available to. And it's the most beautiful experience I've ever had in my life. And I believe that it's, the devotion and this fiery states of devotion, this profound yearning that just turns your heart upwards, and the surrender, that's home. That's our home. So that's true surrender. What if I feel stronger than my partner? I feel like suppressing my power doesn't serve me. I can be very feminine, but I'm also much more capable than him in many ways. How can I stay in my power? To stay in your power, you need to remember your value, your intrinsic worth. Because when you say, I am more capable than him, it means that you don't see neither his worth nor yours. Whenever we cannot see someone's worth, it means that we don't see our own. When we cannot accept someone the way they are, in their intrinsic worth that is not dependent on how capable they are and what they do, it means that we don't remember our worth. It really works like this. It really works that like you always attract your reciprocal. There is no mistake in who is there in your life. There's no mistake who is your intimate partner. You cannot trick the universe. You've attracted him. You've created this relationship with him, and he is there because he is your match. So that's what is happening here. That you are comparing him to some imaginary ideal, but this is not who he is. Yeah? And he has some gifts that are worth of love, that are worth of acknowledgement, that are worth of everything. But you need to remember your worth in order to do that. So that may have been intense. But receive this, because this is what we do a lot as women. And Of course, you may be stronger if you are really identified in your masculine, which is the case for most women. We are so used to being in our masculine that we don't give space to the masculine of others to really come and hold us in our feminine, which is what we typically truly yearning for. Okay, let's see. What else do I have? Okay, I will go all the way down. Okay, and then start from here. My whole world was turned upside down when I got a rare health condition that stops me from doing. I'm curious about this. Would you like to share more? Sometimes those things, they are redirection, in life. Sometimes even the kind of the worst case scenario may actually always has some gifts inside, and we may not be aware of them because we are attached to a certain perfection, and we may not be aware of the real gifts of the situation. I got COVID and it opened so many doors for me. It opened so many gifts in me, and even taught me how to be even more intentional with my time and energy, because I was low energy for about a week after that, and actually it taught me so much. It taught me how I still ran a masterclass. I still showed up for all the things I needed to do, and I did actually more than typically because I was just so intentional, and that taught me a lot. From acting specifically. Yeah, sometimes we get redirected by life and see where is it pointing. Not look from where it is taking you, but to what are you facing now? Not what is no longer possible, but what are you facing? Maybe there are other ways of acting or expressing yourself that you haven't yet considered. I'm struggling with my voice. More precise, it is about the language. I'm from Croatia, and most of my clients I speak in English, and I live in Brazil and speak Portuguese. How to find my language? Well, just choose which one you enjoy most. Which language you enjoy most? Where do you feel you are most natural, where you're most naturally drawn to be, who you're most naturally drawn to talk to. Yeah, and then don't overthink it too much. And I know for me, for quite a while, because my whole spiritual studies were in English, and I could not connect to Russian, which is my mother tongue. For a while, like I was really like, when I would speak Russian, I sounded a bit like a foreigner, and also with some strange, because I left Russia like quite soon, like in my early 20s, so I still had some of my teenage ways of talking. So when I would talk Russian, it would be like sounding like a foreigner and also like a teenager from the 90s or something. Like that was really funny. But then later, I really enjoyed talking in Russian. So now I have some Russian clients and students, and I actually, a different part of me comes out when I speak Russian. So I quite like to be bilingual, and it both fits me, and fits my character and fits how I feel. So that's basically about this. Okay, so I saw, and I think maybe a sentence or an experience that have took yourself to next level, if we can put it that way. Now I will need to remember what was the conversation about, because I moved on from okay, experience that made me feel, the sentence that made me understand that I belong. Different, yeah. Well, for me, it's what I spoke about, surrender. That's where I feel I really found my deepest truth. Yeah, and I believe that that's the deepest core of human nature, of everyone's nature. So it's that sense of being touched by grace. That's where I found my belonging. That's where my search has stopped. Because until then we keep searching, until then we keep thinking, we keep behaving as if something external can fill us up, as if some accomplishment, some experience can make us feel whole. But when we are kissed by grace from inside, we remember our origin, and then our belonging is natural there. That's where you rest inside of your own heart, and then you carry that home inside of you wherever you go. You're not expecting it to be shown to you from external conditions and from external environments. Okay, so do we have more questions? I'm at the bottom now. Okay, here we go. There's a question about the masculine energy. How can I lead as a woman, be feminine? True leadership combines both masculine and feminine energy. I talked about it yesterday in the day 3 of the Masterclass. I recommend you go check it out. Because both are really, really essential for leadership. And we go a lot deeper into that in module 2 of In Service to Love. Because, yeah, we really need to honor both, regardless of our gender. Because if we only stay in the masculine, then we become very rigid. And then our leadership becomes more like a dictatorship. Yeah, where it's like you just tell everyone how to be, how to do. You tell yourself also how to be and what to do. And then there is a sort of sense of separation and isolation. And that's if we really are in the masculine. And we burn out also if we are only in the masculine. And if we are in the feminine and only in the feminine, then we may get lost in emotionality, in connection, in constant flow of energy and emotion. So there needs to be both, and I explained that very practically in the training. When getting into leadership, the practical comes with it as well. The practical part comes with it. Yes. Do you have an advice or like to share how you structure yourself without rigidity yet manifest things? Well, I profoundly believe and experience that without alignment of energetics, there is no real leadership. That the energetics come first. That your energy, the way you are in alignment or not, and what you're in alignment with, this comes first. From this place, there comes clarity, what to do exactly. Yeah, all your steps become clear until we have that first alignment, second clarity that comes from alignment. Until that, we just are influenced by other people's ways, other people's thoughts, other people's experiences of how to be, other people's know-how. That's why, for example, the world of marketing is typically it's profoundly masculine paradigm, and they will tell you, okay, to market your thing, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this in this way. This is how you structure your talk. This is how you structure your sales. This is how you present your offer. This is how many days, how many hours. This is the day to post on. This is the day not to post on. Like, oh my God, this never resonated with me. Yeah. And I was like, wow, maybe it's not for me. And that's why many people get turned off from from the like marketing and social media and content creation, because they hear those kind of advice which are really dangerous, which are completely masculine. Yeah, and in order to not be turned off by the ways of expressing yourself, those things have to come from profound alignment with yourself, your ways. So in my life, especially, I really had to, it's also based on my human design. Someone asked me earlier, I'm a generator 1-3, and part of my way is to have a lot of experiences. This is 3, like the 3 line. This is where I really have to have a lot of experiences and really find my own ways of doing things. So for me, what other people have created, what other people know, it's not really useful. I don't really, like when I try to do the way other people do it, it's just not really, like, doesn't feel good to me. And I believe that that's also something I also can teach you and share from that experience, that don't rely too much on those kind of things, on those kind of structures, but create your own. Yeah, so create your own structures. And those structures, if you create structures in alignment with who you are, they are beautiful. Yeah, there are some very practical things, like, okay, boundaries, like how do you work, when do you work, when do you don't not work, when is your creative day, when is your business focused day, when are you available for a call, when is your time to check your messages, when is your time to write content, when is your time to be creative, and when is your time to go and watch the trees, like we talked earlier. So this is where the structure comes in, but it first alignment, then the structure. Before alignment, certainly knowing your Dharma, knowing the taste of you, the flavor of you, that first step. I spoke about the steps yesterday, by the way, in the 3rd call of leading from within. Tia is asking, what are your daily practices to stay in your power? I don't have daily practices. Actually, I have a lot of practices that I know and that I teach and that I've created, and the other practices that I didn't create but I just love, like some exercises I do, Pilates, for example, I love it. Some exercise from the spine from my trainer, Rashe Lagin, he is Russian. There are some specific things I do, and then there are embodiment practices, my own embodiment practices. There is, sometimes I sing, sometimes I write, sometimes I just go for a walk, sometimes I just take a shower, sometimes I take a bath. So all those things actually help. Sometimes my practice is to really take care of my home and my environment. So all of those things work. So I don't have a specific, like a routine practices or something like that, but I listen to myself and to my needs, and from there I create my days and my flow. Hello, Casey. If I will be leading module 2. Module 2 of what? I think you might be asking about the priestess school, which is no longer existent. When I got rejected, it leads me back to my anxious. Yeah, we will stick with the topic of leadership here, so I won't be going into the relational dynamics. Okay, Susan, one of my spiritual teachers told me at the teacher training of meditational healing that as long as I am in the mindset of lack in any areas of my life, I won't be... You won't be what? I don't know if you have a remaining of that question, Susan. Okay, in the meantime, so you can continue. So if you stay in the mentality of lack, then what? Tell me, What are you thinking about it, or what were you told about this? One step of leadership you mentioned in Masterclass, to know for who we are, that we are leaders, who we want to talk to. I learned from human design that projectors specifically focus on themselves and do not imagine ideal client, how to deal. Well, it's not about imagining the ideal client, but it's about knowing who you want to talk to. It's very simple. Who you like to talk to. Do you like to, like, who are your favorite people to talk to? What are their qualities? Like, what do they like? Who are the people that you love to hang out with? Yeah, it's your experience of being in the company of someone else. So it works perfectly for projectors also. My most influential teachers. Yes, of course. I also mentioned yesterday. My most influential teacher is Samuel Sagan. He passed away some years ago. He is a founder of Clairvision School, where I spent a lot of time, and I was there in 8 months long meditation retreat. That's the most profound influence on me, on my heart, on my structure. Like, wow, eternal gratitude to this incredible teacher. I also have been incredibly influenced by Muji, the teacher of non-duality, who is very famous, very popular. I also am very influenced by my teacher Sahajananda, my meditation teacher. I have a big love for my business mentor, Melanie Ann Layer. I have a beautiful teacher that I didn't spend a lot of time with, but have so much profound connection with, is Shamili Arda. Yeah, I would say these are the main ones. Human design generators, sacral authority, many responding to outside questions or appearances that can appeal to you, yes or no. How does it link with leadership? Yes, so for generator, it's very easy to know your yes and your no. That's the real perk of being a generator, because you really feel it in your body instantly, typically. Yeah. If you have sacral authority, also with splenic authority, people have this instant knowing. So I am not a person who needs to think over my decisions. Most people actually are that way. You don't really need to think of your decisions. If you need to think about what you want to do and about your decision, that means you don't trust yourself. Yeah, so especially for sacral generators, it's like this, like you know immediately, is it a yes or it's a no? And just tune into your body and you will know. Tune into your sacral area, you will know. Is it a yes? Is it an openness? Is it a no? And all decisions, that's how I make decisions. All decisions, business decisions, financial decisions, what to charge, what to pay, like, that's how I make those decisions, from inner knowing, from the knowing of my body. Okay, Zuza, here's a continuation. As long as I'm in mindset of lack in any areas of my life, I won't be able to help others, which I feel is my Dharma. Okay, so your Dharma cannot be helping others. In the very beginning, the very first question, so please go to it and listen. I explained, I recapped again what is Dharma, and it cannot be helping others because your Dharma is your whole life. Yeah? So I really hope that lands and you don't just kind of stick with this concept, but you get to feel it. So first of all, you can dismiss what this person told you, and that will be a great service for your life. Yeah, not everything that we are told is correct, and this sounds like a little bit of limiting approach, because it's okay to have lack, sense of lack. I feel lack sometimes when I overly focus on my desires and I don't acknowledge the good that is already there. I can feel lack, And I made over $1 million last year. You know, it works like that. Like, it doesn't mean that you cannot do what you're meant to do. It doesn't mean that you will not be able to help others if you feel lack in some area of your life. It's nonsense. It's no problem at all. What can be a problem is when we cannot hold polarities. And this will be a big topic of exploration in our In Service to Love training, where you cannot feel at the same time your joy and your power and your unshakable trust, and have a doubt, and have a moment of lack, and have a moment of bad mood, and have a moment of feeling low. Both can coexist. This is one of the most revolutionary things a human being can empower themselves in and master, to hold the polarity where it's not black and white or white. Oh, she's so sad and she's posting happy pictures on Instagram. You can be sad and happy at the same time. Actually, there can be a part of you that you want to remember, and that's the one you are posting, and that's the one from which you are talking. And there can be at the same time a part that is moving through something and being sad and processing something. And that's absolutely fine. Yeah. As long as you are really holding both parts and you're not just trying to bypass one and pretend it's not there, but you are holding it and you're working on it, that actually makes you a better leader, because you are in more compassion and more connection and more with your hands dirty in what it means to be a human. So that's what I will say to that. Can you give us an example by describing who your ideal clients are? You. Let me guess who you are, but okay, I'll speak about who I really feel like I'm talking to as I'm talking to you right now. I feel like I'm talking to a person, a man or a woman, doesn't matter, who is really, has a really good heart, who is really kind in their heart, who is really open, who is really willing to understand themselves deeper, who is really curious about life, who has been through lots of things in life, like they have certain life experience already, like they are like maybe like they are above 20 years old typically, and then it doesn't have an upper limit, but like over 20, I would say. Mostly, although there are also age really, no, I cannot say age, because some people I know, sometimes they are below 20 years old and they're so wise and they have just this ancient soul experience. So anyway, like they have a certain sense of experience for life, a certain sense of like already they have been through certain pain, and their ego has been humbled in certain ways, and they are just they have established themselves in fundamental safety. They have covered their fundamental needs. They know how to take care of themselves. They don't expect to be mothered or parented by someone else. They know how to take care of themselves, and they are looking for more. They are looking for greater expansion. They are looking for next level of quality of life. And that's why they come to me, and then we walk together, and we walk together into new magnificent territories. So that's my ideal client. Projector is it's a type of design in the system that's called human design. I'm from Russia. Okay, your question in the Q&A thread. I will look. Maybe Ferna. But I think I responded to you. Yeah, I respond to you, right, Susan? Jenny, that's cool that you know Muji and Sahaja and Melanie. That's amazing. Books that were inspirational to me. Oh, thank you for the love. I love you too. Books that were inspirational to me. To be honest, I don't read so many books. I more spend time, like if I really want to deepen my understanding of something, I spend time in the presence of the teacher. For example, Joe Dispenza, his book Becoming Supernatural is a great book. He has other books, but I didn't really read the book in depth, but I've been to his seminar, Joe Dispenza. It's a great book. The Artist's Way was a book that I really loved and really helped me on the path. Radical Forgiveness is a... Oh, no, I did read the books. I do read books. Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping is a great book, really recommended. You're so welcome, Susan. I saw an old story of yours speaking about being able to get what you want without overspending. Right now, I feel limited to get what I desire for my self-growth. How to get to that point? Well, we sometimes have those phases in life where it's like we have to ask our bank account for permission. Yeah. I feel that it's a really sad thing when we do that, because then it's like we don't trust the heart, we don't trust the movement of the heart. But of course, you need to be like conscious about your spending and know what are your spendings. Yeah, are your spendings coming from a pure space? How deep do you trust yourself? Yeah, if there's profound trust that you established in, and you know this is what I desire, this is what's good for me, this is what will take me to the next step of my evolution, then it becomes not a spending, it becomes an investment. I've made some incredible investments in the last year, even, yeah. So it's like I've never would have imagined that I would make such insane investments in myself. I'm talking $100,000 and more dollars. Like that, these are really big steps. And in the past, it would have never been like, I would be like, wow, I can purchase something material for that and just investing in myself like this. So that was very challenging at one point. Now it's not actually challenging, because I know that it comes back massively, because I trust myself and I know that I am investing not into that thing that I'm purchasing, but I'm investing in myself. And I know that I have the willpower, I have the clarity, I have the trust, I have the determination to go for whatever is true for me, and I know that it will skyrocket me and make me so much better person, so much better leader, so much better woman, and so much closer to my true path. So that's how I make decisions about finances. Okay, so I feel like the energy is completing itself, so I'll just quickly scroll through what we have. Oh, Eleanor also knows The Artist's Way. It's a beautiful book. Yeah, I have made investments before I had the money, and it then came back because I did it from a heart space, I believe. Yeah, from this place where you know what you're investing into. It's an investment, it's not a spending. Okay, so I feel we have somehow landed. Anna Maria says, to let you know that yesterday night I watched 4 hours of the first and second video of your masterclass, and yesterday before the end of the second, I had an enlightenment. That's profound. I understood deeply what you meant with speak your voice and be in your true Dharma. I'm so incredibly grateful to you for this huge gift. But there's a space behind this comment. I love that. I love that. So, Randa is asking, when is registration open for In Service to Love, Part 1? So yes, let me speak about this a little bit, yeah, the In Service to Love, because that's where we are headed next. Yeah, so we are starting this epic journey In Service to Love on the 19th of January. We're gonna have live, we're kicking off with a bang, with an amazing live ceremony, and then from there on we keep journeying. So on the 19th we are starting. You can join even after, but I recommend starting with us because we are setting up a powerful field for the whole journey. So you have time to sign up until then. That's my recommendation. After that, it won't be live, and I perhaps may also even close the registrations to keep the container closed. So until the 19th, that's for sure. Make sure you join them. And In Service to Love is a journey for leaders who are really yearning to go deep into all the things that we talked about, who are yearning to get established in your clarity, who want to embody the qualities of the profound, powerful, anchored leader that you really are. If you want to remember what is your true gift and service that gift powerfully, if you want to feel that your message is meaningful, that your voice matters, that people are eager to know what you have to share, what is on your heart, who you are, like if you want to feel right anchored into the Dharma and move from there and see how doors and opportunities open to you, and you magnetized aligned people in your field, you magnetized aligned clients, aligned customers, aligned environments, aligned finances, In Service to Love is the place to be. So I would love to have you join us. After In Service to Love, we go on an in-person training, in-person journey, surrender leadership. So this is important information according to Sirens. Yeah, exactly. So after that, we go into surrendered leadership, in-person 9-day journey, which I'm so looking forward to. It's a really strong start to the year with this statement, like anchoring into your leadership. So I would love to have you with us. So super welcome. If you have any questions, welcome to ask me. Welcome to message me, comment. We are here for you. The whole Sundari team is here for you. Yeah, with this we complete. So thank you for great questions. Thank you for great space. Thank you for your full presence. And I'll see you on the internet. Ciao, ciao.